Hi guys, I'm Tisha Marie. Welcome and welcome back to my channel. As you guys can see by the title below, I am going to be reviewing the new Patrick Ta Major Dimension eyeshadow palette. I did pick up the eyeshadow palette as well as the gel liners. If you guys are interested in seeing me use and review this palette, let you know, do I feel like it's a must-have or if it's a pass, then make sure you keep watching. Alright, so with the Major Dimension collection, Patrick Ta launched 5 items, 4 of them being eyeliners and then the eyeshadow palette. So I did pick up the eyeshadow palette and 2 of the liners. I picked up the liners in the shades Rich Brown and Cream. I'm going to swatch those for you first. The shades and the liners that they had were Black, Rich Brown. They had a bronzy color, which was like a dark brown, but it has some shimmer to it. So this is how the packaging looks. And then the pencils themselves look like this. All right, so these are gel eyeliner pencils. They do twist up. So that is the shade Rich Brown and then the shade Cream. So upon swatching these for the first time, I do like the way that they go on. They glide on super easily. And the pigment is definitely there. Like, you don't have to push down too hard on it to get your color to be full on. Let's go ahead and get into the eyeshadow palette. So this is how the palette looks, and it has the names of all of the shades right on the back. So this is how it looks once you open the palette up. You have all of your powder shades, and then you have your 2 cream shades, and it has this little plastic cover to keep the powders from getting into the creams. Once you close the palette, you have your large mirror right here at the top. About this packaging, I do like the packaging. It looks very luxurious. It feels very sturdy and heavy, but the only thing that kind of turns me off about the palette is that your fingerprints show up on it very easily. So I try to hold it by the sides because I just don't like the look of fingerprints all over my palette. Let's go ahead and get into some swatches. All right, so this was the best that I could do with the swatches for the top row. So the top row is the metallic shimmery colors. I'm gonna go ahead and swatch the bottom row as well as the creams. All right, y'all, so sorry, but my swatches really suck today. These are your matte shades. This one actually has a little bit of shimmer in it. And then these 2 are your cream shades. I am feeling the mattes and the creams. So let's go ahead and get into our eyeshadow look. I don't have anything on my face. I did prime my eyelids already. Now, I'm gonna warn y'all, I've never used cream products on my eyes before. And I'm gonna use them today because how could I not use the cream products in this eyeshadow palette? Bear with me. I don't know what I'm doing, girl, but we're gonna struggle through this together. All right? All right. The first thing that I'm gonna do is use the dark cream shadow, and that is in the shade Woman, and I'm gonna use that as like a liner to kind of like create a wing. Okay, now I see a little something. Okay, so I think what I'm gonna do now is go on top of that with the deep brown shade in here, and that is the shade Scandal. I'm gonna go in with the darker brown shade next to the darkest brown shade. This one has like a bit more of a reddish tint to it when I swatched it. Still very pretty, but I'm just gonna kind of like put it in my crease. Okay, so it's looking very subtle, but it's starting to come together. All right, so what I think I'm gonna do now is use the lighter cream shadow as a base for my eyelid, and then put one of these shimmery shades on top of it. What y'all think? Okay, I like that. Ooh, that's a really pretty eyelid shade just by itself, actually. All right, now, what shade of shimmer am I gonna put on? I'm gonna decide all that, and then I'm gonna come back to y'all, and we'll see how it's looking. Okay, y'all, so this is my final look. I feel like it turned out really pretty, actually. So let me tell you guys the shades that I use. I already told you guys that I use both cream shadows. I use the darker one on my, like, to wing out the shape, and then I use the lighter one on my eyelid, and then on my eyelid I also use this shade called Legendary. So it's this shimmery shade right there, and then I also use the very last shimmery shade, this very light one right here. and that one is called Abundance. So that's that very light, very shimmery shade that you see in my inner corners. As far as the palette goes, for me, it was a learning curve to work with the cream shadows, but in the end, I did end up liking them. I do feel like I need to use them a little bit more just to like kind of get the hang of it, but they do go on super smooth. They blend out amazingly. I used the brush for the darker cream shadow, but I used my fingers for the lighter cream shadow on my lid, and I feel like using the cream shadow as a base on my lid for the metallic shade to stick to made that shade like really pop, like a lot better than it did when I swatched it, because I was kind of worried about those metallic swatches. I'm not gonna lie to y'all, I was really worried about the metallic swatches because they just weren't looking like much of anything to me when I swatched them on my arm. But on top of that cream shadow, it looks good. Like you can see, like the shine is very pretty. It almost looks wet and I'm loving it. It looks very cute. The matte shades also, they blended out really nicely. Now the only thing that I can say about the shimmer shades is on this side, I did try to use it with a brush and it was not picking up anything. Like it would pick up some of the shadow, but when I went to put it on my eye with the brush, it just was not, it wasn't doing anything. It wasn't doing what I needed it to do. So I used my fingers for the shimmer shadows as well. And it's not creasing or anything. I don't know if that's due to me putting the cream base down first, but there's no creasing. It looks spectacular. Okay, so love the palette. As for these liners, I used both of the liners. I used Rich Brown on my lash line at the top, but I used cream. I don't know if you guys can tell, but I used it like on my inner lash line right down here, and I try to kind of bring it in here as well. These liners, do I feel like they are a must-have? No, I wanted to love them because they are a little bit pricey. I paid like $50 for the both of these. That's a little bit pricey. The reason that I don't feel like these are a must-have is because when I went to use them on my eyelid, they kind of skipped and they weren't as smooth as they were when I swatched them on my hand. So I was really expecting them to be like very smooth, like a very nice gel liner. And the Rich Brown, to me, like it's okay, but to use it on my lash line, I don't feel like it's deep enough for me. For somebody a little bit lighter than me, it'll be better for them, but I like my dark brown liner for my lash line to be a deeper brown, a richer brown. It's all right. Again, it's just all right. I don't know, the way that it was skipping when I was trying to put it on, it just it was not the best. Like I had to go over a few spots. And then the cream shadow, it was the same way. It was kind of skipping, and I don't know, it was kind of like crumbling a little bit when I was trying to glide it down here, like on my inner tear duct part. And then when I tried to use it in my waterline, it just wasn't showing up how I wanted it to show up. Like this side did better, but I tried to go back in on this side and it didn't do what I wanted it to do. If you're thinking about getting these, I would say pass and look elsewhere, because for how much these cost, they don't perform like I feel they should. Now, if you're thinking about getting the eyeshadow palette, yeah, I would go with that. This palette is my jam because y'all know that I love some soft glam looks, and you can definitely achieve soft glam with this Patrick Ta Major Dimension palette. I don't really have anything bad to say about the palette. I like it. I do. I like it a lot. Do I feel like it was worth the money? Yes. However, I have palettes that have some of the similar shades in them. Like I have the Natasha Denona Bronze palette. I have the KKW Matte Cocoa palette. So it's like if you combine those two palettes, I would have like some of the same shades in the Patrick Ta palette. The only thing I feel like, the palette is special, but I feel like what makes it special for me is those cream shadows, because I don't have anything like those. Do I have anything like this palette? Technically no, because I don't have any cream shadows, but now I do. So I like that. I like the fact that I don't have to go to a different palette for like a deeper brown shade. It already has those dark brown shades in it, so I don't have to like go to a different palette for a dark brown shade, for a light tan shade, all of it is in the palette. If I wanted a shimmer shade, it would be in there. Like I could go all matte or I could go shimmer and I would be good with this palette. So definitely would recommend the palette, but pass on the gel liners. How do you guys feel about the palette? Or should I say, how do you feel about the look that I created with the palette? Do you guys like it? Do you think it's cute? Do you think it's meh? Okay. Did you guys pick up any of the Patrick Ta items? If you did, let me know down in the comments below. That's all that I have for you guys. Thank you so much for watching. Make sure you give this video a like. Again, comment down below. Make sure you're subscribed because I see that most of y'all watching are not subscribed. And if you keep coming back to watch, you might as well subscribe. And if you subscribe, make sure you turn on your post notifications so that you'll be notified every time I upload a new video. And again, thank you guys for watching and I will see you next time. Bye.